What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of That Hobby Show. Today's subject is something that I'm kind of going through right now, and I think almost anybody that's been in the hobby for, I don't know, hell, maybe a month at the very least, and it starts to affect you, but that is hobby fatigue. And yeah, like I said, I'm kind of going through it. I don't know about you, Houston. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I definitely I guess probably last week maybe kind of hit a funk and uh I guess that's a good way to put it, and just kind of decided to take a step back. And for me it was just the looking for retail and just wasting lunch breaks every day and going before work on my lunch break and after work and not finding anything for 3 or 4 days in a row. And then when you do find something, it's like Heritage, which I mean, I'm always a baseball first, but even I'm not the biggest fan of Heritage. And so after about 6 months of wasted lunch breaks, I decided, not this past week, but the week before actually, to just take a step back from the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel you. I mean, me around here, there's no uh, retail to be found anywhere. Even my honey hole, Walgreens, like they've gotten a hold of Walgreens because I'm a sucker for those repacks, man. They're only $5, but I know not to expect anything. I kind of use those cards as my TTM cards.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I think it's kind of Twitter that's kind of bummed me out, man. It's like today there's more card Twitter drama going on, and like if you follow a lot of those people, it hell, you only need to follow the two main characters, and then it's just like your whole feed is that drama, and then other people start chiming in, and I'm like, I just want to look for baseball cards, but even then, it's kind of like what you're experiencing with retail. You keep finding the same thing in retail. I keep seeing the same thing on Twitter, and it's like I don't I don't care about Tua and Joey B and Luis Robert. Like it's pushing me towards more towards vintage. And the crappy thing is, I don't see a lot of that. And then the stuff that I do see that I want gets snatched up super fast. Like there was a really good deal on some cards. This card set, the I forget what year it is, but it's the trading card game. The white border has like the baseball in the background, and it says either single or strikeout. But a guy had the complete set, and it was in really, really good shape for $250. So I talked myself out of getting it, but it was probably a mistake, but it's probably for the better. So
Yeah, at $250, that's for me. $250, that's something where I would have to, sit back and be like,
yeah, yeah. But so there is a break that I want to buy into. Usually I don't do breaks, and but I told myself that if I'm going to buy into it, I got to sell X amount of cards. So I actually got lucky, and I've sold some cards today on Twitter. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a start, and that kind of helped with the funk too, because uh,
definitely.
like your background looks super organized. If I were to show you my spare room where I have all the cards, it's a disaster area. It looks like a hobby shop and a flea market just vomited, and and it kind of like drags me down because you're sorting stuff and you're getting stuff put away, and then that makes you feel good, but then you go to put the box away and you're like, oh my god. I need to take some leave to even handle all this stuff. And yeah, it's weird how something that brings you so much happiness, how you can kind of, I guess, fall out of love with it, kind of at the drop of a hat. It's really weird.
Yeah, and I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, I made a tweet and it was just like out of nowhere, but it's how I feel. Like it was like me, 8:06 a.m. Man, I love this hobby. I love messing with cards. Me, 9:30 a.m. Man, F this hobby. I hate it all. Somebody bought my entire collection. Me at 10:19 a.m. Man, I love this hobby. It's so fun. And it's so manic like that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, what's up, Dan? Korean Cardboard is watching. Thanks for joining in, Dan. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
I never thought I would say this, but it's crossed my mind a lot more lately to like, what if I just pared down like what I want, the stuff that I would keep, the things for me. I have children, so what items would I want to pass down to them, and just get rid of the rest, because they don't care about my 1989 tops Tom Candiottis, I do. They don't care, but yeah, I think in our pursuit of happiness in the hobby, where we keep accumulating and accumulating. I mean, we're kind of like drug addicts, honestly, because we're looking for that next fix. Because I don't know about you, but when I order something on eBay or order it from a like, say, Blowout Cards or something, and they give me a tracking number, I'm checking that tracking number every day. And then like, I've seen, like, you kind of mentioned it too, but if something's coming to Tucson, Arizona, say, just to make it easy, it's coming from New Mexico, and anybody that doesn't know, New Mexico is right beside Arizona. But if my package goes to Colorado, I'm like scratching my head and I'm looking, what's it doing in Colorado? And then I'm trying to figure out, okay, how long is it going to take to get from Colorado to Arizona? And then like the next day I check it, and then it's like no movement, like, because I am fiending for that fix. And then it's the rush of when you open that box and then you go hitless and you're like, man, I feel like a real POS right now. Let's see what else I can buy, like it's a never ending cycle, you
And
know?
that's when I had a shelf full of retail back here, which that was part of me just taking a step back. I literally ripped every bit of baseball I had and separated it off so I can sell it all.
Yeah.
And what I found was I could go days without ripping anything and I was just fine. But as soon as I ripped one blaster, one hanger, and I didn't hit anything, I would just go right back to the shelf and just keep ripping until I hit something. And
Yeah.
then had it hit me, and I was like, "What am like? This is so weird. Like, if I don't rip anything, I'm fine. But if I rip
Mhm.
something and don't hit anything, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep ripping until I hit something." And
Yeah.
it's just like somebody playing the lottery. They're gonna keep scratching until they hit something.
Yeah. Well, funny thing, I've seen some people that, not to get off topic, but that are so addicted to scratch offs. You don't even have to scratch it off to see if you win. Like, you just buy it and scan the barcode, and it'll tell you if it's a winner or not. So
I
I've seen people just skip that whole part. They're like, screw that 10 seconds of scratching. It hurts my ears. Just scan the barcode, you know? But Dan from Korean Cardboard makes a good point. If you don't know about Dan, he is a Mark Burley. I would say he's a super collector. I mean, he doesn't have anything too crazy, but he has a shitload of Burley, and I think that would make him a super collector in my eyes. But yeah, like me with like, I collect Byung Ho Park and Jason Worth. Jason Worth had a longer career. Byung Ho Park, he didn't. He basically played 6 months in the MLB, but he was in the Twins organization for 2 years. But the bad thing about Byung Ho is he's foreign, and dealers or sellers, they see a foreign guy, he must be worth a lot of money, kind of like Shogo Akiyama and Yoshi Satsugo. Like they were great in Japan, but right now, I mean, I think Yoshi may have gotten designated for assignment. The dude's batting like maybe 100. So for a dude with a batting average of 100, you would think his autograph would be under $10, but no. And that's the same thing with Byung Ho Park. His cards are super expensive, and it's getting to the point where all we need are the super expensive cards, and you just can't justify it. And it, I know it frustrates Dan because I see it on his Twitter feed a lot, but I can't justify paying the price for this guy, even though he's my PC. He's not a Hall of Famer. He had a good career, but he's not great. You're pricing him like he's great, and they've like in Dan's case, Burley. How long's he been out of the game? Like 5, maybe 6 years. So he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. So he's not going to get that Hall of Fame bump. But people are still pricing it like the guy's pitching every 5th day. It doesn't make any sense, and yeah, it's just frustrating.
It's the same way with Hamilton, because you would have think that since he's no longer playing baseball and hasn't played baseball in several years, and actually in some pretty serious legal trouble for something that
I think last year.
Yeah, last year, the year before, supposedly. Which, I mean, it depends on how you view it, as depends on how serious it is. But apparently he like yelled at his daughter in the yard for like the neighbors to hear, and like spanked her in front of like the entire neighborhood or something like that. And people saw it and they called the police, and he was actually arrested. And I can't remember what he was charged with. So you would think, between not being in the league for several years and also having pretty serious accusations against him, his prices really haven't moved for like, especially like his autos, they really haven't moved at all.
Yeah.
And I collect Josh Hamilton, but I can't see paying $60 or $70 for his top tribute autograph, given everything that's gone on with him.
Yeah, Hamilton, it's that 2008 home run derby, dude. Like I still remember that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he didn't win it. He didn't like when you say the 2008 All-Star Game home run derby, Josh Hamilton, they're like, oh yeah, he won it. No, dude didn't win it. That was Justin Morneau. He he got gassed in the semifinals or the finals, but people remember stuff like that, But like some of the game use groups that I'm in after Hamilton got in trouble, a lot of people put his bats up for sale. But as far as that, I haven't seen anything else that dropped in price other than people just wanted to dump his bats. But now that you mention that, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Roberto Alomar's cards and memorabilia, since he I didn't get to read all the article, but the Blue Jays pretty much disowned him. MLB wants nothing to do with him. I think it was like sexual harassment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
he spitting it up, I'm sure it was about that. And then people were like, well, if he can spit it up, then he can, go that route with sexual assault. And I don't personally see how that escalates from one to another, but
yeah. And he was I remember that clear as day. I forget the umpire, but it was when Alomar was with when he was with the Orioles when that happened. So that kind of sucked, being an Orioles fan. They're like, but yeah. But one thing though I did do today that kind of helped me kind of get out of that hobby funk was I wrote some TTMs and went and dropped them off at the mailbox. Now, I did one that was I did San Diego Chicken because the dude signs like clockwork and he has great handwriting.
His autograph is phenomenal looking.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the crappy thing is, he used to come down here to Tucson all the time, and I would see him, and he would do autograph signings after the game. I'm like, I don't want the chicken's autograph. And yeah, but he has all kinds of Don Russ cards. And thank you, John, or not Dan. Dan, it was John Hirschbeck when who Robbie Alomar, the umpire that he spit on.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
And then I think the next game that Hirschbeck was behind the plate or something, Alomar went out and did the lineup card type thing, to make up. But and then the other ones I sent out were to Japan, which it got me excited, but my success rate sending cards to Japan is maybe 25%. So fingers crossed, though, I get them back. But yeah, because there's
that's better than 0.
yeah, it is. But that 2008's top set that I'm trying to get signed has a lot of Japanese guys in it. Like, I know there's never been like a huge like glut of Japanese players playing in MLB, but 2008 they had a lot that year. Daisuke, Masahiro Kobayashi, So Taguchi, Tadahito Iguchi, Akinori Iwamura, Fukudome. Yeah, and none of them have replied to me except for I think Iwamura. Yeah. So, and the crappy thing is I don't get a RTS, so I don't know if I'm not putting enough postage or if I'm getting the addresses wrong. So
I got I shipped a card to Canada, and I've shipped probably 15 plain white envelopes to Canada with 2 forever stamps and never had a problem. And about a month ago, I got one back, and it was like return for postage due. And so I get my stamps out of the kiosk instead of going and standing in line and then waiting. And so there was a option for a international stamp, which is like $1.20.
Yeah, the international forever stamps.
Yeah. And so I threw that on there, and like that was like a month or so ago when I sent it out, and it hadn't came back yet. So
yeah, that's what I use for my TTMs to Canada, because most of the hockey guys live up in Canada. And yeah, just international forever stamp. And the cool thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to go online to go through the Canadian post office, but actually you can just use the international forever stamps. So anything overseas, that's what I use, except for Puerto Rico. TTM's Puerto Rico, you can use American stamps.
Because it's just a territory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, so that got me motivated. Doing the TTMs, get me out of the hobby funk. And then I guess that's why I have so many different projects, I guess.
Yeah, and that in itself can get overwhelming too if you're trying to sort, what you have, maybe potentially hunt for retail at the same time, along with sending TTMs out, along with organizing what you've already sorted. If you've got 5 or 6 different things going on at once, then you can definitely get super overwhelmed with it, on top of trying to sell and then ship what you actually do sell. It absolutely gets overwhelming.
Oh yeah. Even when I sell a couple cards on eBay, man, I get or not eBay, but on Twitter, I'll get stressed out because I'm like, when I sell a card PWE, I like to send the buyer a picture of it to make sure that I didn't write it down wrong, because sometimes I get a little dyslexic and I'll mess something up, not even realizing it. And then I'll send them a picture and they'll be like, nah, that's wrong, dude. But so I like to do that. But first, I need to wait for them to get me their payment. So check my PayPal, make sure I have their payment. Then after that, then I get their address, write everything down, send them a picture, and then I got to wait for them to respond. And I won't put I'm I'm kind of cheap, so I'm not going to put a stamp or my address labels on it until they give me the okay that the address is all right. Because I don't want to screw it up and then I just wasted, however much stamps cost now. Because I don't buy them in, I don't buy just like single stamps anymore. I'll buy like 2 or 3 rolls at a time, so that gets pricey too.
Yeah, because I think you get what, 100 for like $50 or something like that.
Is it 100 for 50, or I thought it was 50 for? Yeah, maybe it is 100 for 50. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I never bought a roll, honestly. So I
yeah.
think that's what I had seen on like eBay or something like that.
Uh-huh. So how do you, I guess, break your hobby fatigue or your, I don't know, hobby slump or?
It's hard getting back into it, or hard. It's hard to kind of gauge what I want to do during the pandemic because there's just this like Fox panic created about everything. And you feel like you're like, oh my God, when there's really nothing to be oh my God about. And the last uh slump I got into was in 2015, and I just stepped away from cards completely until October of last year. So that was like a 4-year hiatus
Mhm.
where all I did was write TTMs and send baseballs, cards, mini like little ice cream novelty helmets, or whatever I thought would be cool for that player. And so I'm kind of shifting back that way again to more of the TTM side of things because there's no panic around it. You can take your time with it. There's no like shit, I haven't sold anything in a week. What am I gonna do now? There's You can get your stamps at the kiosk, walk right up to it, get your stamps, put them on the envelope, and then send them. And you can write one a night, you can write 20 a night, and there's just so much just like leisure behind it. And as opposed to where if you sell a card on Twitter, you don't necessarily have to package it up and send it the next day, but after like 3 or 4 days, it's like, oh shit, these people are going to do it on their cards. Let me send it out on top of working 8, 9 hours and then trying to feed the dog and play and clean the pool and all that. And but with TTM, it's just a lot more leisure to it when there's so much fake panic in the hobby right now. I think that the TTM game should definitely increase with a lot of people, but I think the gambling addictions that people have, they're still going to do whatever they can to get that pool, like you were saying earlier. But I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna get back into the TTM side of it, and I already feel like 10 times better.
Yeah, yeah, and like how I told you, I track the packages when I have a tracking number. You can sign up for informed delivery through the post office. So I'm signed up for that, and I know around between 7:15 and 7:45 in the morning, I'll get an email, and it'll show me a picture of what's coming, and then like I'll be checking to see if I'm getting any TTMs today, and that'll like that'll set the tone for my day if I'm expecting that. And then the bad thing is I'm kind of a dick about this, but uh, just because the post office sends you a picture of the mail that you have doesn't mean that it's going to be in your mailbox. Because
No.
that happened with my Richard Petty, and I was losing my mind. I like no shit. I started checking the neighbors' mailboxes because I thought, hey man, somebody has my Richard Petty cards, and I want them back. Because like me, if I get somebody else's mail, I either, drop it off at the post office or I'll look and be like, oh, that's my neighbor. So I'll go take it to him. But if anybody has half a brain, they see Richard Petty on there, they're probably going to keep that shit. But so I would always click the little box that says mail not delivered every time I do not get my envelopes. But if you actually check if you look on the bottom of the informed delivery screen, it'll say mail could take up to a week to get to you, which blows my mind. So do not report that you did not get your mail until at least a week. But I still do it every time.
Heard anything to report it though, and
Yeah,
if for some reason it is stuck in the mail facility, there might be some alert that gets it moving. Because
yeah,
when the pandemic first started last year, and I was laid off for like 2 months, I was writing. I'm working on that 1991 score set, and I was doing 10, 15 TTMs a day, and some days I'd look and they'd be like informed delivery, and there'd be like 4 envelopes, saying that they were going to be there, and there would only be three, and whichever one that wasn't scanned to show up that day would show up the next day. And I had that happen probably 4 or 5 times where it would be like, you have an envelope in there, and it wouldn't be in there, but then it would be in the mail the next day. And it was like a 24-hour difference. I don't know what the point of it is.
yeah. I don't know. It's still 23 hours too many for me. So yeah. But we did have a question though, from Seth's Daily Podcast. I know my answer. It's probably well, now that I think about it, I might have another one. I don't know. But what's the favorite card in your collection?
Actually, I can show you.
Damn it. I'm gonna have to get up and get mine now.
I think you might recognize it too.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That is pretty.
Elder quadruple patch. What is that? 73 of 75. I don't know if you can see it right there.
Yeah, I can't see it.
That was the one you sent me. I don't know if you remember that or not. I think you wanted it.
That was another one that I was worried about because it took like 2 or 3 weeks to get to you because it was a wrap. And yeah, it took forever to get to you. So I was worried, but I'm glad it got there. And it's even cooler though that it's one of your favorites. So mine would be, it's a Jason Worth relic, triple relic. I think it's from Topps Triple Threads. It's from when he made the All-Star team. The one year he made the All-Star team, he was a coach's selection. It was when it was in St. Louis. And it's just his All-Star jersey cut up, but it's I want to say it's like 3 of 9 or something. But yeah, nothing. It's nothing exciting. I mean, it's just a regular little patch. Well, they look like patches, but usually what they do is they'll cut up the sleeve, this part on the sleeve that has the piping, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a patch relic." It's just a sleeve. But yeah. So that's it. It's one of those things where it was the first one I've ever seen, and it would kind of be cool to try and hunt it down, but like the whole run.
That's what I asked you if you've thought about it, since it is,
I thought about it, but honestly, I have never seen any other ones. So, okay, we'll have some dead space for a minute while I get the card out and show you. So keep everybody entertained, Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to show a set I'm trying to complete. And that one right there, me and Landon did.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
4 or 5, and then I have 2 of 5. So I just need the other 3.
Yeah.
4 of 5 and then 2 of 5. So I just need the other 3, but I can't. I mean, I look at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I can't find them.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, you think, oh, they got to be out there somewhere. But then you see those pictures of the dudes on Twitter that have just boxes and boxes of unopened wax. So, I mean, it may actually not exist yet in the hobby. But here's the Jason Worth I was telling you about. Hold on. And then, yeah, so triple threads.
Big patches, though.
Yeah. It's so it's 3 out of 9, and Dan, he also has one of these, but it's of Mark Burley. But yeah, I mean, it's not anything crazy, but the patches are cool. I'm one of those weirdos that I always touch the patches, man. So if you get a relic card from me, I've touched it. I it's like being a part of the game. But Yeah, I've never seen any of these, and Dan, he can probably tell you, since Burley is in this set as well, how hard these are to get. You know, so Dan, if you're still watching, how many of the Mark Burleys have you actually seen on the market? There's
I
only
don't think
9 of them.
it's like that. Like
Yeah, yeah, and it's weird because so Dan has one. He paid a lot more for his than mine, but so this is Jason Worth, right? Uh, he's my favorite. He's my guy, but he's not a star by any means. Injuries cut his career short. Uh, but that cost me. I think I put in an offer for $50, and the dude actually took it. It was one of those things where it was on my eBay watch list forever, and so if you watch a card on eBay, you know the seller can send you an offer. So I had watched it forever, never got the offer. It was one of those days where, or one of those months where I had the eBay bucks. Uh, I had eBay bucks to spend, and I think they were doing like 2 or 3% back for eBay bucks, and I threw that offer out there, and yeah, he accepted it. But maybe next year when we go to the national, I'll be able to find any more. They'll probably be in like somebody's $5 box or something, and I'll lose my mind. But yeah, it's just one of those things I have not seen anywhere, and I don't think it's because of worth. I just haven't seen. I'll have to get on eBay tonight and see if there's any of those other patches like that, because I think it's pretty sweet.
like obscure collectors, I guess that there might be somebody who doesn't PC Jason Worth, or doesn't even really care for him as a player, but they just wanted maybe to complete that set from that year, or they
Yeah.
they collect relics that aren't just swatches, I guess.
Well, I did meet a guy on Twitter that I sold some cards to. He collects relics, but he only collects All-Star Game relics.
Yeah, that's
But
what I was getting at.
I think that one might be a little bit out of his price range because he did the Topps flagship All-Star patches. Well, All-Star swatches, because usually they don't. Usually the patches are in the more higher end releases for Topps, and then the other ones will just be like the batting practice jersey type thing, which is what that is. But yeah, so
the player worn.
Yeah. Workout day. Yeah.
That reminds me, did you see I think it was Don Russ. They had hat relics of the NBA players. NBA players don't wear hats, and it literally says on the back that this patch is not like game worn, player worn, game used, is basically not associated with the player at all. And
So it's a manufactured relic, but they get a hat at the draft.
And that might have been what it is, because it was like I want to say it was like the New Era flag, like the N with the flag. But it was like literally on the back, it was like, this patch is not associated with the player at all. And,
and that was by who? Panini?
It was, Panini Don Russ. And man, people were at Panini on Twitter for days over it.
I see. This is where I become the hobby snob, I guess, where I know Panini's like that, and it just surprises me that other people don't know, because everybody's well, not everybody, obviously. There's that picture out there of Mark Ingram where he's in that back room and he's like this with all the jerseys on, where it goes up to like a 5XL jersey because they just keep putting them on. You wear it, and then it's player worn. So that's how they get around that, saying that it's player worn. But
yeah,
one thing that's really, if you want legit no BS relics, Japanese baseball cards, and Dan, Korean Cardboard, can definitely attest to this. A bat relic, they will have a picture of the bat on the back of the card. It'll tell you the length and how much the bat weighs, and sometimes they even tell you when it was used. And then their jerseys, they'll have home and away relics where it's just not, that's just not the name of it, home and away relic. They'll have the home jersey picture, or they'll have the home jersey relic with that, and then the away jersey, they'll have the away jersey. So they match everything up with their cards.
I don't know if it's just like trying to pump so many cards out or what they're doing, but I don't think Panini or really Topps would ever go as far as to do something like that. And you were talking about those Walgreens repacks. The baseballs, I think it's 1 in 8 contain a hit, and the football is 1 in 4 contain a hit. And I actually bought one just like maybe a month or two ago, and it came with a relic card of a game used football, like piece of football by Philip Lindsay. And on the back of it, it was like the enclosed relic was, I can't remember how it was worded. The enclosed relic was a football used or carried by Philip Lindsay in a September, or like a September 16th game against so and so. Philip Lindsay had like 15 carries for like 96 yards, and like I was like, oh my god, this is like the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like pretty soon they'll just be like, we have no effing idea. Here's your.
That's where we're headed. That's where I feel like we're headed, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why they're so watered down now. I have so many jersey relics and back cards of Hall of Famers.
This is what Don Russ is doing now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a patch card, don't get me wrong, but the enclosed player worn / used materials guaranteed by Panini. But I mean, if you just look at that, I mean that could have come from like a mesh gym bag, and nobody would ever know.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if you could have got the pinstripe in it. That would have been a little bit better. But yeah. But the other thing that helps me battle hobby fatigue is definitely this show, because right now I feel 1,000 times better. I want to go sort some baseball cards and write some TTMs, send them out to Japan and Taiwan, because that's my next one, sending cards out to Taiwan. So yeah, this show is my hobby fuel, I guess. And
I get so excited. Like I get excited about it normally, but about 8:15, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, now I know why so many people have podcasts, because this shit, So because even if like half the time, I'm watching my viewer count and everything, and I know it's usually my girlfriend and my parents that are watching, which my parents were very concerned for you. So the first thing out of my dad's mouth was, "Is Houston going to be on?" I'm like, "Yes, Dad. Houston will be back." So you have made my dad happy. He watches the replay because he's in bed right now. But
awesome.
they look forward to seeing you. But yeah, but the thing is, like, so we only got a couple viewers, and then if nobody comments, then I don't know if anybody really is watching, because half the time, my girlfriend puts it on her phone and my daughter takes the phone and she's just running around with it anyway, so that's one way to get viewers. So, but still, it's like you get to come here and word vomit about your the hobby, and unlike doing it on Twitter or Facebook, you're not going to get canceled. And like people like us that want to kind of make a living out of this, I don't know if I ever will, but I mean, it's a nice little side hustle. So that way we can come on here and do that and not hurt the Twitter, Facebook side of the.
Yeah, because I think I almost got canceled yesterday because I made a post basically saying that select football retail is ass, and there was people like that.
I read that. Yeah, I read it. It was kind of funny, but I don't know, man. If like I know you're being a troll, but it's kind of cool that you got that clout that guy was I don't know, he had like 100 followers or something, which
Like
like we
200 or
not
something.
like snobs like, oh, he only has 100 and we have 1,000 peasant, type thing. But he's like going after you, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So, but me, it's I try to keep the hobby Twitter about the hobby, and it is so damn hard. And I'm almost kind of fake on there. I'll be the first to admit it. Like even doing this show, every other word out of my mouth is usually the F bomb. So it takes a lot of restraint. Because on YouTube you got to click, is this video for kids? Fuck yeah, it is. You
Yeah,
can't really be doing that, and I can't be dropping F bombs on Twitter. And I mean I can, but
yeah.
somebody's gonna. There's always somebody that
There's
is
always
looking
one.
at
There's
yourself,
always one.
because if the year that I go out for the senior PGA and I win the Masters, somebody's going to find a tweet from today and cancel my ass because of you know because I liked your tweet when you said select was ass, and that makes me guilty by association type thing.
Yeah.
So,
If
you
we
know,
if we ever do blow up and we get like a Spotify or something, or like a Spotify deal or something, I was in a political group like 4 years ago, and if those tweet or if those Facebook posts ever surface, even though they were all troll posts, we're done, man.
yeah, they don't know. They don't. They we need to write like when you're trolling, you need to write your post in like Comic Sans or change the font to like blue or something so people know. That that's not, we're not being serious, but anyway.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel a lot better. I'm motivated. I need to go do something good for the hobby. So do you have anything that you want to plug?
No. Well, the only thing is, much like you were hinting at with that guy and the followers, we chasing the graph hit over 1,200 followers on Twitter. I guess late last week sometime. So thank you to
Nice.
all 1,200 of you that maybe 15 of you interacted with me. So even to
Yeah.
the ones that just see my shit and just keep scrolling, I'm appreciative for you too.
Yeah, I try to like everything, help out that algorithm. So that
Yeah.
way I can stay up to date on all your posts and everything. And Charm City Graphs on Twitter, Charm City Autographs on Facebook, which I have to do a better job with my Facebook posts and everything. And then Dan wants to know what you are on Twitter. So he is chasing the graph. Never mind. There we go. Yeah. So I was clicking on his question, and then the next thing that popped up, yeah. But and he's also chasing the graph on Facebook, but on Instagram, this is where he got in trouble being canceled
Yeah.
7 times. So he is chasing the graph, the
Hey,
Ocho. Yeah, yeah, chasing the graph 8. And boom, we just got you a new follower on Twitter, Korean Cardboard,
I
and you can
follow
check
back.
out.
I follow back.
There you go. And then, yeah, if anybody wants to subscribe, I give out free baseball cards or
Yeah.
NASCAR, which is weird. Nobody's taken me up on the NASCAR cards yet, but yeah. Next week, no idea what the hell we're going to talk about, but Jeff Lyman said he would definitely come back on. I know a lot of people Well, at least 15 people really liked that interview, according to YouTube. So if anybody has any questions that you want to know what life is like for a minor leaguer, I've been reaching out to other minor leaguers. They are former minor leaguers and they're kind of too busy. Still not taking me up on that $25 Chipotle gift card to come on and be interviewed. So, yeah, I'll keep plugging away. I don't know.
I'll
Maybe I'll reach out to some
my
football
issue
players.
is like I'm so slack about that. Like I'll be sitting at work and be like, oh, I could probably reach out to A, B, and C, and then like 3 hours later, I'm like, I could probably reach out to A, B, and C, and then like 4 days later, I'm like, man, I still have it. I could probably do that, and then
Yeah. I have so many messages on Twitter that I've sent out, and I just stare and look at it. I'm like, yeah, the check mark didn't even turn blue. This guy's a real dick. You're going on, but I'm still going to follow you in case you do reply. You know. So, yeah, but anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you same time next Sunday. So, yeah, thanks everyone. Here's the awkward pause where I click and it doesn't end.